Well, welcome back now at 9:16 as Halloween approaches. Sweet treats and candy may be top of mind for your kiddos, but in between the fun and the sugar, it is important parents keep a watchful eye on their health. Dr. Anthony Hudson, Chief of Pediatrics at Children's Hospital New Orleans, joins us with some tips. Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, so we're all ready. We're getting ready for Halloween. I know you got your costume, ready for trick-or-treating. But in the meantime, you know, that's kind of one of these splurge nights, right? But you want to make sure that your kids' health is up to date. They're eating the right stuff so that if they do splurge a little bit on candy, it's not that big of a deal, right?
Of course. Navigating today's world as a parent is incredibly difficult, and I think Halloween really just emphasizes how difficult it can be for parents. A few tips that I would like to offer this morning, I would like to start with just saying, I think we should all make sure we feed our children a healthy meal before they go out. I would also preach, first and foremost, really lead by example throughout the night, whether it's safety, crossing the street, or, of course, approaching candy as well. I really think parents should lead by example at this time of year.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. I love that idea of telling the kids, hey, give them a good meal, something that they might enjoy before they go out so they're not sitting there snacking throughout the night. I think that's a really good tactic to make sure all the candy comes home. But, when you have kids that are, just relying on this day, like this is their Super Bowl of candy, what else can you do to make sure that they are healthy leading into it? I mean, making sure that they have that breakfast and all the great stuff, not just on the day of, but throughout the year, right?
Yeah, so boundaries are important here. Another example that comes to mind is screen time. It's very important to have boundaries around that as well as candy. So speaking about it openly in the household, speaking about how much candy we'll consume maybe on a daily basis, or rationing it, or I'd like to emphasize just leading by example, where the parent would eat 1 or 2 pieces of candy and then say, I think I'm done for today. I'm going to put this aside, rationing it for a later day.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. Rationing it, taking it. We even had someone tell me, hey, give your kids an option to maybe select a toy or a trip to the zoo, something like that, if they turn in a certain amount of candy, right? So that they can kind of exchange that for something that they still want. Because at the end of the day, you want the kids to enjoy what they're doing, right?
Yeah. So my house is haunted. It's haunted by a witch, the switch witch.
Okay.
So that's a technique a family can use as well, as you speak about this switch witch on Halloween, and then when your children go to bed, the switch witch comes and switches out candy for toys, coloring books, chalk, whatever it may be. But yeah, to go ahead and replace that candy with something else. I
like that. We need to get the switch witch over at my house, right?
Yeah.
And then, you were talking about the safety of the kids as they go out too. As our kiddos are getting older, I was always used to trick-or-treating with my son. He's at the age, he doesn't want me with him. He's 14 years old now. He still wants to go trick-or-treat, but not with Dad. So what do you tell the kids as they go out and maybe you're not necessarily there to supervise them through?
Yeah, so for the 14-year-old age group, I would suggest going out in a group, making sure he's with friends. I would speak about cell phone safety, or really just being not being distracted by the cell phone when crossing the street. And of course I'd like to emphasize how important safety is, crossing at street corners. Don't cross in the middle of the street. Try to stay in well-lit areas. As a parent, maybe giving them a certain area to be in, or to discuss what route they're going to be on before they leave the house, so you have a general idea. And of course, if they have a phone, making sure you are even able to track them to see where they're at.
Right. Now, a lot of that stuff comes through leading by example, like you said, making sure that they know the best way to handle these things, and then, communicating with them, because you want them to have fun, you want them to enjoy it, but you want to be honest with them. So
again, lead by example, open lines of communication. I think we should be talking about processed food and candy all year round. Really, it is omnipresent in a children's life today, the amount of sugar they eat in America. So this is, of course, another time to speak about it, but really this is an issue parents are dealing with on a daily basis.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's get those switch witches out to a bunch of houses this year and have a happy Halloween. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.